Jennifer Mardoff here from I'm Engaged, What Now? I know a lot of you guys have been excited and waiting all week to have our makeup artist on here live to answer all your questions. And she's going to do a demo shortly of a friend of hers. She'll be popping in probably in about 15, hopefully 15, 20 minutes or so or less. She's on her way. But Alex wants to take some questions first and chit chat with you ladies about all your critical wedding day bridal makeup issues, questions. Do I do airbrush? Do I do traditional? What's the difference? Do I really need to hire a professional makeup artist on my big day? How do I find a professional makeup artist in my area? All those good stuff. So Alex is going to talk to you guys. She's going to introduce herself. She's going to say how she got into this industry. She actually is, I want to say like a third or fourth generation makeup artist.
In my blood.
It's pretty interesting how it was passed along from her like great grandmother down to her. So she's a true professional in a hierarchy, I guess, or has a lineage of makeup talent in her family and hair. So she is definitely been well experienced in the wedding bridal makeup and hair industry. She worked in a salon for a while, and now she has her own business. She's been doing brides for many years. Actually, she told me she's been working as a makeup artist unofficially since she was 12 years old. So I'm going to throw it over to her. She can introduce herself. And I do want to say that I actually used a lipstick that she recommended for my own wedding. We actually connected in this group, I'm Engaged, What Now, when I saw one of her friends, Hannah, post a absolutely stunning photo, and I think got a ton of likes. Some of you might remember. It was from her makeup trial, and Alex did it, and I just loved everything about it. And I messaged Alex and I said, I have to have you on. You are amazing. Your work is stunning. And I also want to know what lipstick color that is on Hannah, because I think I might need it for my wedding day. I liked it that much, and I was kind of in search of a good lipstick. So I'm going to throw it over to Alex. She's going to introduce herself, take your questions, and then hopefully her friend will get here and she's going to do some actual bridal makeup for us so we can see it live. You're on.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm so glad all of you are here. Will I be able to see the questions?
You should be, but if not, I'll throw them out to you. I don't see any yet, so maybe just talk about your history and your experience as a makeup artist and some of the questions that we've already gotten in the group, like airbrush versus traditional, that kind of thing.
Okay, so with airbrush makeup, I think that the finish it gives is the prettiest, most flawless, the prettiest that you can get. I mean, that's what you strive for whenever you're using a sponge or a brush, is to make it look like your face is airbrushed. The only downfall with an airbrush makeup for your wedding day is that most airbrush makeup is not waterproof. Actually, no makeup is waterproof that's in an airbrush. But if you're gonna do airbrush makeup for your wedding, you want to make sure the person that's doing it is really good at it. You want to make sure that you do a trial, because it can be so perfect and it can be so horrible. So you want to make sure definitely to get a trial with that. But what they make now is a sealer, like a waterproof sealer for the airbrush. And so if you're going to get that, 100% be a bazillion% positive that they're going to use the waterproof sealer on your face, because the best airbrush makeup is a water-based, which is what keeps it really light on your face and beautiful. But as soon as you cry or start sweating, it's just going to drip off your face. And once you have the airbrush makeup, there is no going back and touching over it with real makeup. I had this mistake one time with a bride. I didn't know the bride very well. My husband was actually in a wedding, and I went to help with hair because she knew I was a hairstylist. And I show up, and the girl who did her airbrush makeup, she didn't do a trial before. She comes in, does her makeup in like 20 minutes, which is insane. She gets her makeup done so fast and she leaves and she's just devastated.
Oh
She
no.
like hormonal breakouts before, and she had like big, I mean, breakouts really bad. The girl that did it just did it so quick. She didn't take the time to really buff that out and cover it. So it was really splotchy looking. So me, this was like 4 years ago. So not knowing a whole lot about airbrush makeup at that time, I just take my beauty blender, which is like my magic wand, and apply my waterproof foundation that I always use. I have like my tried and true foundation, but I take it and I start trying to blend it out. And what happened is that all broke away from her skin, leaving her skin open and me trying to cover it. It was just the worst texture in the world. I ended up having to wash her face off and starting completely over. So she wasted $85 that day on getting airbrush makeup.
I think
so.
a really key thing, you want to have a trial then. Do a trial.
Do a trial, and you have to make sure that it is waterproof because you do not need that to move on your big day. So that's my airbrush spiel. As far as traditional makeup goes, it is it's not as scary. It's not going to be irreplaceable if it starts to mess up. I mean, if you do traditional makeup, you can fix it if something were to go wrong. But I would 100% advise someone to ask those questions. Is it going to be waterproof? How long is it going to last? Am I going to need powder throughout the day? And those kind of things. I mean, I always set makeup. If you're really super oily, I would say definitely ask your makeup artist what you're going to be using in case you needed to get an extra powder. If your makeup artist is going to be leaving, that you can just kind of powder your nose if you're super, super oily or something like that. But I did, yes. I went for hair and makeup, Emily. You learn both in Oklahoma. You get your cosmetology license for makeup and for hair. But I've been doing it my entire life. Yes. So I would say, to answer your question, Avery, I would say that I always bring my entire makeup kit. I don't leave anything behind because you never know what someone's going to need. And you need to have, I mean, I have makeup ranging from the lightest skin to the darkest skin that you could have. So the only time I would tell a bride to bring their own makeup or their own foundation is if you tell me that this is the only foundation that works on my skin. I use it every single day. I love the way it looks. I love the way it wears, and it's not going to come off when I cry. And if you promise me and you're so adamant about that, then I would allow the bride to use her own makeup. Other than that, I would definitely advise trying what your makeup artist is telling you would be the best for your day.
Maybe touch on a little bit why it's important that you, or kind of the benefits of having a professional makeup artist and someone do your hair on your big day. For those of us that maybe were tempted to do our own makeup to save a little money, or because we think we could do it, and maybe if that's a good thing or not such a good thing.
Right. So, I mean, everyone knows that saying, like, anything that can go wrong will go wrong on your wedding day. And for me personally, I would say that I would not want to risk not being able to do your makeup, or even a time thing, because a lot of times you show up to a wedding and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. You've got people setting up tables, you've got people getting food together, drinks together, or trying to decorate. And when that happens, all of a sudden, I mean, that day goes by like so fast. It's the fastest day of your life. It's the best day, but the fastest day. And if you're trying to get stuff done and everyone's trying to do their own makeup and their own hair, it can be a disaster. I say definitely spend the extra money. Have someone there to make you feel beautiful so you're not relying on yourself to do it. Have someone that you trust. Have someone that you feel comfortable with that's going to make your day even more fun. I would say my favorite part of my wedding day was getting ready with my girlfriends. Not that I wasn't excited to see my husband, but just being able to, all my girls being able to feel so relaxed. They weren't stressed about doing their hair and makeup. They knew that whoever was there to do it was going to do a great job. So you can just relax and enjoy your day. For me personally, I like to go to the venue on wedding day, so no one's running around. You don't have to worry about anyone being late. I normally advise people to start pretty early. If you, like most people, I think get their venue around 8 or 9 in the morning. And I typically am there when they show up. So we're there starting for one person at a time. That way your bridesmaids can be getting stuff ready, or vice versa. We just kind of do it all on the line. So for makeup brands, I use a lot of different things in my kit. But as far as foundation goes, I have one foundation that I use on everyone, and it doesn't matter if you're 15 or 73. This makeup does not set in lines. It does not set in creases. It doesn't show your pores. It's like the holy grail of waterproof makeup, and I'm obsessed with it.
I can't wait to hear what it is. I'm almost on the edge of my seat here.
The MAC Pro Long Nourishing Waterproof Foundation. I have it in 4 different shades. I've got cool tones and warm tones. I can mix them all to make different shades, but I have done this before actually. You can put this on your face and get in the shower, get it wet, and it is not going to move. It's almost like a car that was just waxed.
No
like
way.
The water will just bead off of your face. It is the best. Put it on, wake up. You still look wonderful. I mean, your eye makeup might look a little crazy after you get out of the shower, but this stuff will not move. I've tried other things because, of course, I'm like every other makeup junkie out there. I look at I follow all the makeup artists and watch all their videos, and I've tried a lot of the ones that people will recommend, and I always go back to my MAC waterproof. In my opinion, there's nothing better. The greatest.
And one of the questions that I was actually going to ask it too, and Kimberly Marie actually beat me to it. How do we go about finding a good makeup artist, or testing one out for a trial, or maybe we should do more than one trial, with several different makeup artists?
Right. So for me personally, I worked in a salon for so long that I had so many brides. I'm doing their hair, or they have a friend who's doing hair or makeup. But the great thing I think now is that we have these social media groups where you can ask, hey, so-and-so is getting married, who should she use? I think that being able to look at someone's page and kind of scroll through their photos and see if it's something that you like is a fantastic tool. I know for our community here, we have a beauty room page, and people get recommendations all day long for makeup. So that's a great way. I would, look at photography pages, check different photographers in your area, look at their weddings, and you can ask photographers who they would recommend for makeup too. I have a lot of photographers that I work for that will send me brides, which I think is really cool because then they get to see the photo and have their photographer. As far as trying different ones out, if you meet someone and you really click with them and you feel comfortable and you like your makeup, I would say just go with it. I do know, I've heard of girls that have come to me that had gone somewhere else previously and hated their makeup. If you hate it, maybe, schedule a trial for a couple of hours. A trial should really be your time to say, you know what, I think you're great if you really like the person, but I don't like the way you did this. And your stylist should be able to take that and work around it, because the whole part of a trial is so that you really honestly leave that day feeling your most beautiful, because you want to be so confident that day that as soon as you sit down in that chair that day, you're going to look up looking flawless. So I would say, work with that stylist. Don't just leave and say, oh, I love it, and then never talk to them again, because that's honestly the worst thing that you could do. So ask your stylist, could we try another lip? Or with your hair, like, I don't think I like this on me. Let's try something else. Give yourself time to really kind of play, because that's what it is. You're playing in makeup that day. Another thing I always tell my brides is to take pictures. Get in the car, get your Snapchat out, send your girlfriends pictures. Look
Yeah.
at yourself from every angle, different lighting, because you may look in the mirror and think that your makeup looks on point. But when you get behind a camera and your cheeks just completely go away or you can't see your lipstick, you're going to hate your pictures.
I think
So
you bring up a really good point there, actually, because professional makeup artists know what's going to look good in your wedding day photos. And that is
yes.
huge. So maybe touch upon that a little bit.
And that's another thing. If you were to do your own makeup, things that makeup artists know that a lot of people don't, like if your makeup has an SPF in it, which everyone thinks is wonderful so that your skin doesn't get sun damage, but actually in photos, if you have any kind of sunscreen in your makeup, it's going to flash back a white color in the pictures. And so then you would get your pictures back and you'd be like, why does my face look so white? I was totally bronzed or whatever. And it doesn't work that way in the photos. And that's another reason why I think having a professional makeup artist that knows all of those things is a definite plus on your wedding day. But definitely, I can't stress enough to find someone that you're comfortable with, because you have to be able to say, I don't like this, or I kind of wish that you would have done this or whatever. I think that's huge.
And so I think a good makeup artist will take your feedback and tweak things, and they want you to be happy.
Because like what looks good on me or what I like is not always going to be what's best for brides. I obviously like a full face of makeup because I do this every day and I love it so much. But for my natural bride, I would not go in and do like a mega contour and like big arched brows, Smoky eyes. Smoky eyes for a wedding? Is that what you're asking, Eva? Well, I'll just answer. I think that everyone is different. If you love a smoky glam look, girl, it's your wedding. If you want to wear a purple dress, you can wear a purple dress. So to me, I think always go with what makes you feel the most beautiful. Some people think that wedding makeup should be very light and very soft. I don't agree with that always, because if you're having an evening wedding and you're all mega glam, why not go mega glam? It's your wedding day. So for a smoky eye, I say if that's something that you love and you want to rock that, definitely do a trial, because you don't want to be like blacked out eyeballs on your wedding day. But if that's your thing, go for it. Everyone is different, because I did wear a lot of makeup on my wedding day, but that's me. That's what I do. So, yeah, don't let anyone tell you that you just have to look super natural, because that's not the case. Any tips on hair and makeup for a destination wedding? Are you going to the beach or where are you going? I would say that if you're going to do a destination wedding, sit down with your stylist and show her pictures, because I did this for my friend who got married in Mexico. But she's just going to be doing her own. So since I knew the humidity level was going to be pretty high, we chose something that was easy to do. And I kind of worked with her, doing her hair, kind of showing her where to pin it up, get it off your neck so you're not hot, kind of what to use on your face to keep from the humidity from bothering you. If you're going to have a destination wedding and you're going to be doing your own hair and makeup, I would say definitely go ahead and do a trial with someone so that they can show you how to do it yourself or give you tips on what to do. If you want someone to do it, usually if you're going to do a destination wedding, you can call the venue to get recommendations. I know a lot of venues, like wedding destination venues, you can call hotels and the hotel will normally provide you with a stylist or something like that. If you're going to do a destination, you're going to be there for more than one day, I would say book a trial. Most definitely. My model's here. Yay!
Hey, we have a couple more questions while your model gets settled, and it's very exciting. We're going to be actually, Alex is going to be doing some makeup for us live on camera. Thank you so much for joining us, Jordan.
Yes, of course. I'm excited.
And Jordan actually does lash extensions. They just noticed that someone asked about lash extensions.
I do.
If you don't have eyelash extensions, lashes,
Yeah.
always, any kind of lashes. If you're going to, like, you have to have lashes on your wedding day, whether they're strips or the lash extensions.
Great tip. I didn't know that.
I'm going to go ahead and get started on her face.
You look pretty.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So I'm going to do her makeup like as if she were my bride today.
Fabulous. I'm gonna so what I'll do is I'll read you the questions now. Is that okay while you work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we have someone here that is saying, hold on one second. Do you recommend strip lashes or lash extensions for the wedding?
So lashes either way. Lash extensions are going to be, you're going to get the most bang for your buck for sure, because they're going to last you for at least 2 or 3 weeks. But I like a mega glam. So if you're used to having lash extensions, you could pop a little strip lash in the corner to give you that extra definition, that extra pop in the corner, which is something I love.
Mm-hmm.
I had lash extensions on my wedding day because eyelashes are the best thing ever. But right, I cut some strip lashes and applied them in the corners of my eyes right here just to give you that extra bam. But either way you go with lashes, they're going to look great, whether you do lashes or lash extensions. Don't wait until the week before your wedding to try eyelash extensions for the first time, because you might not get a good girl. You might have some crazy looking eyelashes. So definitely, if you're planning on doing lash extensions, do them like a month or 2 before, and then continue to get them filled.
They'll be fuller.
Another positive to that is that you can get them to like the fullest that they can be on that day, your wedding day. Because really, I think they give you 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
2 hours normally to do a full set of lashes, and you can't always get that mega glam full look in that 2 hours. So it's better to kind of go back every 2 weeks and really get them full before your wedding.
Awesome tip. Samina, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, wants to know if you have any tips for a bride who never wears any makeup, doesn't even own makeup, but wants, I guess, a natural look. She needs some makeup for her wedding day. Where might she start?
So I would find a makeup artist for sure, and I would be honest with them. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't want to look like I don't have makeup on in my pictures, especially not having your own set of good makeup. You don't want to go spend, you could spend $500 like that trying to just get the essentials for your face for a wedding. I would say you're probably not ever going to use it again. So definitely go with a makeup artist. Be honest. Maybe look on Pinterest. I love Pinterest. Some people hate Pinterest, but I love Pinterest for the simple fact that you can show someone a photo that you like. No, not, everyone's face is different. So if you have different eyes in that photo, then you're not going to look identical to that photo, but it gives your artist a photo, an inspirational photo that you like, that they can kind of try to copy.
Great tip. So get an idea of maybe how you want to look and see if your makeup artist will duplicate it so it looks good on you.
That definitely.
Okay. Michelle would like to know if you have any tips for a bride getting married in the middle of July in Texas.
Ooh, a hot wedding. Your best friend is going to be everything waterproof. You want to make sure that your foundation is waterproof, that your eyebrows are set waterproof, that your eyeliner is waterproof, your mascara is waterproof. You want to make sure that nothing is going to move. I would say definitely try to pick a style of hair that's going to be off your neck. Because the thing is that if you're going to be sweating, there's not a whole lot you can do about sweat coming out of the inside of your body. Sweating, your face sweating. There's not a whole lot that you can do. So you just want to make sure that your makeup is set in place, make sure that you've got those little blotting sheets with you so that whenever your lip starts to sweat, you can just kind of blot it off and your makeup's not going to move. Yeah, Oklahoma is not much different than Texas. It gets hot in the summer and it's a nasty, sticky, humid heat. And wear deodorant, of course.
Eva would like to know if you, what kind of, I guess, liner do you, would you recommend to avoid darkness? She even said, do you ever use white eyeliner?
So for a wedding, the only time I would really use a white eyeliner would be to line your waterline, because that kind of creates an open, like very awake eye. I wouldn't do like a white liquid liner or anything like that, but I know MAC has a pencil that's white that I'll use to do the waterline inside your eye, but I really would just put that white kind of right there in your waterline. Waterproof eyeliner though, I use the Stila marker. It's my favorite, and it won't move. Like I said, you could get in the shower and put water on your face. If you don't touch it, it's not going to go anywhere.
Crazy. Now, what are you applying now on Jordan's eyes and eyebrows?
So right now I'm just taking the soft brown and really working that into her crease. I set her makeup under her eye here. I use my Pro Longwear concealer, which is waterproof, and I like it because you can use it as an eyeshadow base as well. I dusted over just a very neutral white powder to set it first, but I'm really working this into her crease area. You want to make sure that your makeup looks very blended. You don't want harsh lines unless that's what you're going for. I did a bride this last month actually that wanted a very stark black line, which actually looked fantastic on her. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it turned out very beautiful. That's why I'm saying if you want to go mega glam for your wedding, do it. There's no rules. No rules here.
It's one day that it's all about you, right?
That's right. It's your day. Do what you want. So now I'm using MAC Saddle, and I'm just going to kind of work that into her outer crease area, kind of open up her eyes. Jordan has gorgeous bone structure, so her face does a lot of the work for me.
Eva says she loves the white sparkle that's on your eyes. She wants to know what it is because she wants to maybe use it for her wedding day.
Is it this gold right here?
That looks beautiful.
Yep, probably. Well, it's my MAC gold pigment. Actually, it's gold glitter from MAC. These MAC pure pigments are like life. They are the greatest things ever. But this one is called, it's just gold. It's just this little gold glitter. I did a cut crease today, so I did my concealer and my powder and then tacked on that glitter.
Liana has a really great question, and I was going to ask you this before we got going with Jordan's makeup, and I forgot. She wants to know what the average cost for a trial and day of makeup should run her.
So everyone is different. That's kind of a tough question. So it could be anywhere from, I would say, like $65 to like $100, sometimes $150 for your makeup on the day of. Hair, probably $50 to $70, would you say? For a makeup trial, I think that probably most people would charge around $50 or $65. And then for hair, probably around the same. But every salon is different. Every makeup artist is different. I, myself, usually charge $65 to $75 for makeup applications. Trials around $45. Hair, $50 normally.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah.
And you're located in Oklahoma, right, Alex?
Yes. Tulsa,
Okay.
Oklahoma City, that kind of area.
And I know you said you do a little bit of traveling if brides are willing to compensate for that.
Yes. I drove 4 hours the week after my son was born to work a wedding.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Kimberly asks, I guess she's very worried that her makeup will rub off on her dress or on someone else. Is there any tips that you have to keep it in place?
So you want to make sure that after your makeup is applied that you're setting it, your makeup artist is going to set it with a setting spray, which will, it's not going to come off. Once you set it with that, I like to use the Urban Decay All-Nighter. I mean, like, I've done Jordan's makeup and she is waking up the next day looking perfect.
Yeah.
So you want to definitely make sure that your makeup is being set correctly, and it shouldn't rub off on people that way. So just definitely set your makeup. Airbrush makeup, once it's set with the waterproof set, it should not come off on anything. But that's just, you need to make sure that it's done correctly and that you've got a lot on.
So makeup setting is key.
Yes.
Emily asks, would you recommend a place like Sephora or Ulta to get wedding makeup done?
If you go in there and you find an artist that you think is great, why not ask them? For sure, you could try that. I would just definitely make sure that you do the trial, like sit down with them, have them do your makeup. And if you love it, if you could definitely ask. Not all of the people in Sephora or Ulta are cosmetologists. So, and that doesn't necessarily matter. Someone can be amazing at makeup and not have to have their cosmetology license. I don't think that matters all that much, as long as you love what they're doing and make sure that they can take off work for your wedding. That would be huge. There are a lot of self-taught makeup artists, because like people don't know that you don't have to have your cosmetology license to work at MAC or to work at any makeup counter for that matter. You can just apply and kind of work your way up.
Well, that's interesting though, because I mean, when you pay for a professional, I think you want to get a professional, and you certainly want to get somebody that's experienced. So if you're going to, pay a certain amount of money, and maybe it's only $10 or $20 extra to get that person that is, a true professional, I think that it might be worth it on your big day.
Yes, I agree. Yes. You definitely want to make sure that you're dealing with a professional and it definitely knows their products, what they're putting on your face, how it's going to last. You definitely wouldn't want to try a new product on the day of your wedding. That's another thing that I would like to add is if you do your trial, try to book it on a day that you're not just going to go home. I like to tell people that are going to do their makeup trial, make it worth your money. Book it whenever you've got pictures. If you're going to do bridals or you have engagement pictures, try to book your photos around the same day as your trial. That way you can take your pictures in them, first of all, so you can see what it's going to look like on a professional camera. Look back at the photos and, oh, I love that. Or maybe not so crazy on the highlight, or so you can just look at it that way. And then get the most wear out of it to see how it's going to last throughout the day.
Awesome tips, Alex. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, Avery has an interesting question, and I actually know the answer to it because you helped me with mine. Avery is wondering if you've had any liquid lipsticks that you would recommend.
Oh, yes.
Yes, she does. And I used the one she recommended on my wedding day, and it was awesome. And I still use it. I have it in my purse. So
it's the best. So Anastasia makes these liquid lips that are fantastic. It's not going to be such a long-wearing lipstick that you're not going to be able to get it off at the end of the night. Like, it's definitely like a 5-hour max probably. But they go on wonderful. And it's the Anastasia liquid lips. They come in a lot of different colors. And then also MAC has these new, they're called like retro long wears. I've got one right here. I have one somewhere. Lipsticks.
I can't see anything, so.
These retro matte lip colors are also so beautiful. For all my like winter and fall brides right now, this one's called Old Lady. It is gorgeous. But so those are two liquid lips that I love, 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 love. I know that they're going to work for me every single time. They're not going to bleed on your mouth or really get all over your husband because you don't really want that. So those are my like two go-tos. I think everyone probably knows about lip scents, right? Does everyone kind of know about those? I think that those are great too, but you definitely want to know what you're putting on your mouth before you go into your wedding day because that stuff's not coming off.
No, it does not come off.
So if you're going to do something like that, that's a more permanent liquid lip, know the color before you put it on. Make sure you've worn it for a couple of days ahead of time to make sure you really love it because once it's there, it's not moving.
Oh, that's interesting. I've not tried lip scents, but actually somebody just asked that question about your opinion on lip scents, and I think you answered it very well.
I think that if you love that color, then, I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, it's really not going to move, but you just have to make sure you love that color. For sure.
I can certainly vouch for is it Anastasia or Anastasia?
I don't really know if it's Anastasia or Anastasia. I'm not sure, but whatever her name is, we like her.
Yeah, I used it on my wedding day, and I still use it like for work as well because it has a good staying power, but it's not, as you said, it's not crazy to get off. And it wears well. It doesn't come off on glassware, or it stays very nice, and it stays true to color.
Oh yes, but like if you were to try the lip scents, you have to like get a scrub to scrub it off your mouth at the end of the day, like moving.
Somebody wanted a reminder on that foundation that you recommended from MAC. I believe it was
the MAC Pro Long Waterproof.
Yes, MAC Pro Long Waterproof. Okay.
And it looks like this.
Perfect.
It's the greatest stuff in the world. Also, something that I love to set makeup with is my Laura Mercier translucent powder. If you mix the two of those and kind of bake your face with them, I mean, you're good to go for at least the next 24 hours. Like, it's my favorite together. Nothing better. I'm sorry, my breast seems shortened.
Oh, it does that? Mine probably sounds like jalapeno popcorn.
Emily is wondering if you have an opinion, and I don't know if you do or not, on the Unique makeup brand.
Inked?
Unique.
Okay, so that's funny that you ask. I have a lot of people that have tried to get me to sell Unique. I would never say anything bad about anyone else's makeup brands or makeup. Personally, I've never tried it. The only thing that I've like heard about Unique is that they've got the mascara that has the fibers in it or something like that. And I know a lot of people have really liked that, but I love to try new things. I haven't made it to trying Unique or Arbonne or like any of those. So I can't really say that I like or dislike their products.
I know there's so many.
Really help there. There's so many. And for me, I just don't really get into it because I feel like if I bought into one, I would be like not being a very good friend to my other friends that sell makeup. So I just kind of stay away from the whole like makeup and then having to sell it thing. Like I have what I like and I know what works for me. And so I just have it.
Exactly. And as we said, there's so many choices out there, and you just have to go with what works for you and what you feel comfortable using, I think, as an individual as well.
Yes.
Now, what are you applying eyeshadow right now?
So now I'm going back over her lid with my concealer because I really want her lid area to be bright and to kind of pop. So actually, before I applied my glitter on my eyes, I did this also. So as you can see here, I don't know if you can see her face super well, but her eyelids look really bright.
Yes, because she's far away.
Yes, I always go over the eyelid area before I put any kind of light powder over the eyes because I just want that to really stand out. And now I'm just going over it with some translucent powder to really set that in.
Liana is asking, or Leona, I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, wants to know if you recommend, I guess, end of the night removal. So I guess, removing all of that, all the layers.
Oh, that makeup, yes. So I like to go in with any kind of makeup wipe first to get all that extra stuff off your face. Start with a wipe, remove your lashes, work around your eyes very softly, and then make sure that your face wash that you're using says removed makeup. You would definitely want something that is specifically going to take your makeup off. I have a Clarisonic that I love to use. That way it really gets in there and you make sure that all that product is off your face.
Good
So use a makeup wipe, get a Clarisonic. Everyone needs a Clarisonic, honestly. I'm just spraying my brush with some Fix Plus, which just helps it pick up a little extra powder.
Smells so good.
Fix Plus is the best smelling product like that MAC has.
And just to reiterate for people that are joining us a little bit late, Alex is based in Oklahoma. She's been into makeup since she was 12 years old. Her great-grandmother did hair, and it's kind of been passed down from generation to generation. So she has a true lineage of hair and makeup experts in her family line. It's in their genes.
We've got hair and makeup in our blood, man. It's just
That's right.
all over.
Ashley Hutchinson is asking if you have a recommended setting spray.
Yes, I always use the Urban Decay All Nighter. I've got it somewhere. It looks like this. You spray it on. It's pretty much like hairspray for your face. Give it really good sprays. Get kind of close. You're not going to use too much. The more the better, actually. You're just really honestly giving your face insurance. So.
And when the live is done broadcasting, maybe in the comments, when you put your contact information, in case we have any Oklahoma brides here in the group, maybe you could list some of your favorite products as well.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to.
Amanda, who probably joined us a little bit later, if you could go over for her your opinion again on airbrushed versus the traditional foundation for our wedding day. I know that that's a very popular question here in our group, and Amanda, we did touch upon that earlier, but I'm sure Alex will be happy to reiterate.
Oh, yeah. So if you're going to go with an airbrush foundation for your wedding day, you want to be 120% positive that they're going to use the waterproof sealant on your face. The thing that I love about airbrush makeup is that it is airbrush. It's so light. It looks beautiful on the skin. But the best airbrush foundations are water-based, which means as soon as you get water on your face, it's going to completely disappear. So obviously, if you're going to be crying on your wedding day, you want to make sure that that's waterproof, sweat-proof, not going to move. So I think the airbrush foundation is absolutely gorgeous, and you have to have the sealant to go over it. So make sure that if you're going to do it, you ask your makeup artist if they have that and if they're going to make sure that it's waterproof. Second, with airbrush, it can be done so beautifully, and it can be done so terribly. So you want to make sure that you're doing a trial and you get pictures from every angle. You want to make sure that you are getting a professional that's doing the airbrush, that has a lot of experience with it, that's done it a bazillion times, that you feel 100% confident with. And so that would be, I really do love airbrush makeup. Now, if you're going to be doing a normal foundation, definitely make sure, again, that it's waterproof. You just really want to make sure that your makeup isn't going to move. So ask your stylist, is it waterproof? Is it going to move? Am I going to sweat and it's going to come all over me? Are you going to set this for me? Because I think that both can achieve an airbrush look with normal foundation, with your beauty blender and your big giant brushes and the setting spray and your primer and all of those things. So I do think that they're both beautiful. You can get pretty much the same result either way. But your main thing is you want to make sure that it's waterproof, not going to move.
I know for me personally, all of the trials that I did and what I ultimately decided was the traditional makeup, because I loved the way it looked, and I just thought it was a complete full coverage as well. And maybe you get full coverage too with the airbrush, but I really felt like it wasn't settling into like my pores, because I kind of have larger pores. So I went with the traditional makeup, and interestingly enough, I thought I was going to do the airbrush. I thought, that's going to be the flawless look. And I ended up going with the traditional. I thought that was, really ultra flawless and very smooth looking, and it held up very well, just from my personal perspective.
So I'm curious to know if maybe they used a silicone base on you, because a lot of times the silicone base it's heavier, and it'll kind of set in your pores and kind of set in the lines.
I didn't have this information that I have now. I didn't even know to ask that. So this is great for our brides who are looking to airbrush versus traditional.
Personally, I would definitely say to go with a water base if you're going to do the airbrush, because you're going to get the most flawless look that way. But I'm with you. I love traditional makeup because I love the art of being able to do it with your hands. I love my brushes and my sponges and all of that. I'm like, yeah, I love it. I can't find my other two foundations.
And Michelle is asking what primers, both eye and face, you might recommend.
So I love Smashbox 24-hour photo. Woo, hello. 24-hour eye insurance, I think, is what the primer that I use is called. And then I typically always go over that with a waterproof, here they are. With my waterproof concealer, just because I like to kind of start with a completely clean canvas. So I want that eye to look like a blank canvas. I don't want to see veins or anything like that. Sorry, Jordan. I like to get people's faces pretty wet when I'm applying the foundation. Just kind of help smooth it down a little bit.
So for those of us that are just joining us, Alex Baker and Jordan, our beautiful model, who's being nice enough to humor Alex so that she can show us what some great traditional makeup looks like for your wedding day. Alex is from Oklahoma. She is a makeup artist, answering a lot of great questions and giving a lot of great tips for our brides in I'm Engaged, What Now? And for those of you that missed the introduction, I met Alex through this group because I saw a beautiful bride, Hannah, that she made up, and Hannah posted her pictures in our group. And I was just in awe of Alex's work. And I said, I have to have her on here to answer questions. She's a true professional, and she obviously knows what she's doing, because Hannah looked beautiful. And I liked Hannah's makeup so much that I actually used the same lip color for my wedding day. And I was actually looking for a lipstick. That was the one thing that my makeup artist and I were kind of having trouble getting the right shade. And once I saw what Alex used, I was like, that's it. I have to have it. And to this day, it is still in my purse. I still use it and I love it. So she introduced me to a new great product. So hopefully you guys will get some great tips from Alex and maybe try some of the products that she recommends. Let's see. Emily has a great question. What kind of look would you recommend for a winter, Christmassy wedding versus a summer or night wedding?
So if you're going to do a winter wedding, I love those deep berry lips. I think that is so beautiful. for a winter bride. And if you love that color, I mean, you could use it in the summertime as well, but I definitely think it's a little bit easier to get away with those darker shades in the wintertime, and especially an evening winter wedding. It's so glam and just beautiful. For a summer wedding, I would say, a lot of people probably would prefer to keep it kind of light, lighter on the lips, a little bit lighter on the eyes, kind of more natural. But again, I mean, each person, you could do whatever you wanted for any of those things, but I would say that that's probably what I would say is keep it a little bit lighter in the summer, and you could definitely go a little bit deeper and darker in the winter. Like winterberry, that's like a color.
Mhm. Yep. I
Look
love
up
the
for me.
color that you were on.
One of our brides is asking, and I actually had the same question myself, and it's really interesting. I'm going to see how you respond, but she's saying, and I do the same thing. We always do our foundation and facial makeup first, and then we do our eyes. Have we been doing this wrong?
This is probably the question I get every single time I'm working. So I always do foundation last. So whenever you're doing your eyeshadow, have you ever noticed that when you get done, you've got like the little speckles of eyeshadow under your eye? That's called the fallout. So it's what comes off of your brush, and really there's no way around it. You can tap that brush all day long, but once you apply it to the face, some of it's going to come off. So like if you could zoom in here, you could see that there's fallout under Jordan's eyes. So since you want your makeup to be the prettiest, the freshest, the most flawless that it can be on your wedding day, I always save foundation for last. That way it's the last thing we're doing, and none of that's going to be on your face. Because a lot of times here, look up for me. If you do get that fallout under your eye and you think you're just going to take your makeup brush and sweep it away, what will happen is those little particles sink into your pores, and you sweep it, and then you've got eyeshadow all on your cheek. So
I'm going to try this tomorrow morning with my makeup.
Yes, you're going to love it. Now, if I'm like in a super hurry and I'm just running to the grocery store, I don't follow all of these steps. But if you've got something going on and you want your makeup to look its best, definitely do your eyes first.
Now, I see you made like a cross on Jordan's face. Is that just a technique?
I am highlighting the center of her face. So I apply a shade that matches her skin tone all over the face. Then I take my concealer or my lighter shades, and I go and I really highlight these areas. You want to bring the lightest color to where your eyes would be drawn. So like Jordan has such a beautiful face. And so you want to put the lightest here and the lightest here so that her face looks like it's glowing. So you always want to do that. You don't want to, if you're just doing your makeup for every day, whatever, but you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of definition and difference in the colors on your face. You're not going to be able to necessarily notice it when you look at her. But if I hadn't done my makeup this way and mine was all one color and I sat next to Jordan once hers is all done, you would definitely notice the difference. It definitely brings out her features a lot better. Look up for me. And same goes with contour. So you want to highlight the areas you want to highlight. You want to contour down so that the bone structure, it looks natural, but it definitely brings it out a lot more. And that's going to give you the most glowy, beautiful finish on your face. Really makes a difference.
These are great tips. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Emily has another question. She's asking, and this is, I think, a very popular question. What tips do you have to find the correct shade of foundation, and what are some techniques to blend it into the face and neck area?
So when finding your perfect shade of foundation, don't ever go put it on your neck, because whenever you go into the stores and if you're trying to find a shade, people will try to put it on your wrist or on your neck. But I know for me that my face is a totally different color than like my arm. Like, come on, whoa. And I like to look a little bit more bronzed. So a lot of times I'll go in and find a shade. Try to go with no makeup on. Like, go in naked face. Go in and try on makeup on your actual face to make sure that you're going to get something that you love. Look up for me. So do that. And if you're going to be doing any kind of like fake tanner, remember that so that you don't get something that just matches your skin and you go put your fake tan on and then your face is really white. Something else is I like to get a couple of shades. So go in and get something that is a little bit darker and then get something lighter so that you can do this to your face. So you don't just have that one. And then the perk of having two is if you do get lighter or darker during the year, you can kind of mix them to create a shade for you that works for all seasons of the year.
Samantha has an interesting question. She said, for those that have maybe more sensitive skin and they don't like to feel anything heavy or that doesn't allow their skin to breathe, is there a brand maybe that is a favorite of yours that allows the skin to breathe a little bit more and doesn't clog pores as much?
Yes, I have two. I know on days that I don't really want to wear a ton of makeup, I'll use my It Cosmetics CC cream. And it's a foundation, but it's so light and so movable. It has a lot of like skin correcting properties in it. So you're going to get the benefit of a CC cream plus having a medium to full coverage foundation that's you're not going to feel it on your skin. And my second would be Too Faced Born This Way. It goes on so soft and creamy. It's like you don't even know that it's there. But again, it's got really buildable coverage. So you can start out with not having a whole lot, making a very sheer coverage, or you can build it up, but it still feels so light.
Oh, you're fine.
Now, is this blush that you're applying now or a bronzer?
This is my favorite bronzer. It's dark golden. It is a little bit on the darker side, but Jordan's kind of olivey skin tone, so she
I
can
really
wear
like
it.
to have bronzer on my
And Jordan loves bronzer.
yeah.
But so after we go in, I'm not contouring her face with this. I'm just giving her a nice warm glow around her face here. I like to do it in like a 3 motion so that you're hitting all the good points on her face. So you would do that the same with a contour, but whenever I'm just kind of bronzing up and warming up the face, I'm not as precise with it as I would be whenever you're using a contour.
And for those of us that are just joining us, again, I just saw a bunch of people hop on. This is Alex. She is a professional makeup artist. She is from Oklahoma. She has been nice enough to join us this evening, and she's been giving us some great tips. If you want to see the entire video, in case you missed anything, I will be posting it in the group. So definitely check it out in its entirety because she gave some really awesome tips. Tori is asking, she says she knows nothing about makeup, and I know you already touched upon this, but again, maybe you could just reiterate because she just joined us. Any tips on choosing the right makeup artist for you?
So definitely set up a trial. You want to set up a trial. You want to make sure that your makeup artist is someone that you feel 100% comfortable with, that you can tell them, hey, I really like you. I really think we get along, but I didn't really love what you did. Can we try something else? I think that's extremely important. Ask your friends, get on a group like this. I think that this page is so wonderful to be able to get on and ask, hey, I'm from this area. Who would you recommend? Look at their pictures. Take in a Pinterest photo and say, I love this. Could you help me recreate this? You just want to make sure that you're feeling very comfortable with that person and that you're going to get along and be able to hang out with them the entire day because it's the greatest day of your life. So you've got to make sure that she's going to be there for you and you know that you're going to look your best. Ooh, that contour is like... Look at your pretty face, Jordan.
I can't even see.
Jordan can't see without glasses on, so she has no idea what her face looks
I
like.
forgot my contacts, so I'm like, yeah, it's going great. I can feel
You
it.
look beautiful, Joe. Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
don't doubt it.
Sierra, Alex did already answer the question about airbrush makeup. I believe if you want to go back and listen to the entire video, you can. It's kind of towards the beginning, but she did, one of the most important things she said is that you want it to be water-based, right, Alex?
Water-based and waterproof. Make
Right.
sure it's waterproof.
Because she said she's this particular bride, Sierra, says she's a crier. So she
Definitely waterproof for you.
I always cry.
Yeah. Who doesn't cry at weddings?
Yeah, like I cried like a crazy lady at Alex's wedding.
And this is an interesting question. Are you able to touch up airbrush makeup with traditional makeup, or should you not touch it?
No. So that's what I was telling you earlier in the video that I attempted to do for that girl I didn't know very well, because her airbrush makeup looked terrible. It looked so bad, and I felt so bad for her. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to fix this. And I get out my tried and true MAC foundation, and I go in trying to blend it out, and it was just a disaster. It was so bad. She had to take off all of her makeup, and we had to start over.
Well, at least you got to do it.
I wasn't the one that did the airbrush, though. So, just saying.
So it's crucial that you make sure, I think you do a trial if you're going to go with the airbrush. Really, even any makeup artist, you should do a trial. But certainly with the airbrush, because you want to make sure that they're using a waterproof product and that it lasts. Because I think you said something about setting it as well, right?
Yes, it absolutely has to be set no matter what. I mean, like, you wouldn't do your hair for your wedding and not put hairspray on your hair. That's basically what it is. It's hairspray for your face to make sure that everything stays in place and is not going to move. You're looking fleeky over here.
I'm so excited.
You're looking beautiful, Jordan.
Oh, thank you. She's the only person I've ever let do my makeup other than myself. So
Wow. Well, believe me, if I was in Oklahoma, I would have used you for my wedding. That's for sure.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Shayla, you asked about lipstick that you would recommend that stays on pretty well. And I know you probably didn't hear my story earlier on, but that's kind of how Alex and I met. We met through lipstick. Hannah, a bride that is in our group, I'm not sure if she's still in our group, but Alex did her makeup, and Hannah posted a picture, and I was amazed at Hannah's makeup. And I particularly liked the color of her, and you know, who did her makeup, and she put me in touch with Alex. And the lipstick that Hannah had on was called Anastasia, I believe, and it's a liquid lipstick. And it stays on great without it being impossible to get off. It's a liquid lipstick that I actually wore for my wedding. So if you want to check that out, it's again, it's Anastasia. And I still wear it to this day. I have it in my purse. I liked it so much. And I know, Alex, you recommended another liquid. I don't know if it was by MAC or by another.
The retro liquid wear.
Yes.
Oh, those are also extremely creamy and beautiful and wonderful. I think yours is Dusty Rose, right? Is that the color that you in?
Yes.
Oh, that's my favorite. And it looks good on so many different skin tones. I love that so much.
Emily said she had heard at one point that bronzer might not be always the best choice to contour with. She wants to know if that's true or not.
Oh, no, that's different for everyone's skin type. I love to contour with bronzer because it's something you can use for bronzer and for contour, but I have a lot of different ones. You can get like a face palette. Like, I like this Kat Von D palette, and it's a contour palette. But I mean, honestly, those, you can use those as bronzers. That's what I love about makeup, is you could use an eyeshadow for a contour or for a bronzer.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really mix and match. That's not true at all. And some people I know will say that you need to use a cool tone for your bronzer, but I think that makes people's skin look muddy, personally. So really it's just about getting makeup and trying it on yourself and seeing what works best for you. But definitely you could use bronzer for contour for sure. And these are my favorite strip lashes. If you're going to go with strip lashes, the Ardell Wispies, they're so beautiful. And it's going to give you a look a lot like the eyelash extensions because they're light and soft and kind of fluttery and don't look.
That's what I used for my wedding.
You do. I love these Ardell lashes. They're my favorite. I always have a pack of them. Sometimes two. I have 2 packs of them right now. Every bride gets lashes, even if they tell me that they're the most natural, no makeup wearing people on the planet. I'm like, girl, we're putting some lashes on you. And if they don't like them, they can take them off. But for the trial, I'm like, girlfriend, we're going to try some lashes. It just really opens up the eye in the pictures. I think that there's nothing prettier. All over my nails. I'm going to go home and be like,
I know, right? I'm so excited.
you just keep them close. I'm going to go over here and apply the other set of lashes.